we built an cloud-based AI filter that is able to verify each incoming alarm in those security operating centers and automatically flag the ones that are irrelevant.
Hey, it's Eamon with ipXchange. We're at the ipXchange studios, and I'm here talking with Tolga from PromiseQ for another IP experience. So, first off, Tolga, can you tell us what you do at PromiseQ, and then give us a little rundown on the company?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Eamon, for the invitation. Happy to be here. I'm Tolga. I'm one of the co-founders of PromiseQ. As you said, PromiseQ is a Berlin-based startup. We founded the company 3 years ago, together with my co-founder Elias. I'm the CEO. Elias is the CTO. He's taking care of everything technical. I'm taking care of everything financial and make sure the money comes in. And what we do at PromiseQ, maybe I go back one step before that. Elias and I, we were working in the automotive industry for many years.
Okay.
And we have been in research and development for autonomous driving cars. So we were developing AI functions, AI products, basically, based on cameras, of course, to make the cars see and drive and take decisions. And coming from that background, from an industry that is very much leading that AI sector and many other sectors as well, we figured out by coincidence, actually, that in the physical security industry, there is a lot of potential for improvement. We figured out they're using outdated technology that's causing also inefficient security processes. We saw an opportunity and we grabbed it, I would say.
Cool.
That's in a nutshell.
Cool. So you've said that there are opportunities in security for AI. So what does PromiseQ bring to the table? If you could just give an overview of the technology.
Of course. So basically, what we started out with was reducing false alarms, because, as I said, coming from the automotive industry, you have very high standards for the technologies that you're using, because this is stuff that is built into several million cars that are all on the streets at some point. So it has to be super safe. It has very high requirements. Coming from that industry, working with similar technologies, I would say, we figured out in the security industry, in especially security operating centers, you have a super duper high false alarm rate, meaning most of the alarms coming into operating centers today are false alarms. From security cameras, because these systems are usually designed to trigger on motion.
Would that be kind of within with vision tracking or with a NOR sensor or something like that at this stage?
Not even. Sometimes it just has a motion sensor, and then it triggers the camera to turn on, and then the camera films maybe, I don't know, a few seconds, and then sends it to the operating center, or not even films anything, just sends a few pictures to the operating center. So the other operating center basically needs to verify all incoming triggers, alarms, from any kind of sensor. And
is that all done by human at this stage?
Yes, mostly.
So this is where the intelligence is going to help.
exactly. And these cameras, even if it's a little bit windy and the camera itself shakes, it already starts triggering alarms. So you can imagine, with wild animals, with rain, precipitation, there is a ton of alarms coming in every day into those operating centers that is just not security relevant, right? And we call it false alarms.
Cool.
And how they're solving it right now mostly is with just more staff. So they just manually check it
Okay.
and then say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, and and then react when it's a real threat. They have specific procedures in place depending on what the end customer wants. Either they make a call, so they might call them in the middle of the night, or they send a guard there if they have guarding services as well, or they call the police and stuff like along the lines. And as you can imagine, this is super annoying. It is a waste of time and money for everybody. Um, and what is even more important, in my opinion, is not only that they're wasting time and money with checking irrelevant stuff, but there is something called operator fatigue. So if you're just clicking away cats and dogs and rain for I don't know 59 minutes, then in that 1 minute where something real happens, you're going to be likely to also click
You
it
might click it
away.
away as
And
well.
then
Yeah.
and then it was a real threat. And this is also happening on a regular basis. Actually, there was a
Okay.
report from G4S that just came out that annually, globally, companies are losing, I think, in total, 1 trillion US dollars just because of security incidents.
Yeah, so the current state of the security industry for video monitoring is basically mostly false positives, and even some of those false positives get marked. No, even the real positives, some of them get marked as false because of
Yes,
operator fatigue. So yeah, that's really bad.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really bad. It is.
How is AI solving this problem through how is PromiseQ's AI solving this problem, and kind of what does it look like in the system?
Right. So yeah, this is a super huge problem, right? So nobody can afford to lose revenue, but also we all want to be safe. Companies, communities, people want to be safe, right? So it is a big topic. I think not only commercially, but also on a human level. So how do we solve it? We started out by focusing on this false alarm problem. So we built an cloud-based AI filter that is able to verify each incoming alarm in those security operating centers and automatically flag the ones that are irrelevant or filter them out. So the security
Okay.
operator really can focus on the actual threats and actual real alarms and has more time to do so, more focus, and is not under pressure with thousands of alarms coming in and having to go through all of them and this is what we started out with. We built an holistic platform around this AI filter that's in the cloud. So we built also video management, so the operators can actually have a live view on those cameras if they want to. We built statistics, so how many false alarms are coming in, in a certain period of time, which cameras are producing the most false alarms, etc., etc. So there is a whole holistic platform around that security operating centers can now use and use our system also as a video management system, which makes them as well a little bit hardware independent. So up until now, they were
Okay.
very much limited in the camera brands that they can actually serve, because they need very specific video
Okay.
management systems. So each camera brand has its own video management system. So they had just a bunch of video management systems in their operating center. And with our platform, basically, this all gets united into one platform that also gets rid of your false alarms. And so, yeah, this is what we started out with. And just a few months ago, I think Tim told you earlier, we launched another product line, which is based on Edge AI. So this is a device,
Okay.
an powerful GPU based device from NVIDIA that you can put into your camera network, and that connects automatically with all of your cameras. So just plug and play, and makes any camera that you have intelligent. So the intelligence is not then in the
Cool.
cameras
Okay.
anymore, but in the edge device that we call Cube, the PromiseQ. And yeah, so this Cube is a super new technology that was just released by NVIDIA, I think beginning of the year. This is super powerful and for live performances optimized GPU boards that can run sophisticated AI models in real time on the edge, basically.
So in terms of those cubes, I guess that's a hardware platform. Do you need one cube per camera, or how many cameras can one cube support?
It really depends what the customer needs and what's the target system. So I think the smallest architecture, the smallest cube can do 3 camera streams at the same time. Then the next higher one can already do 10, and there is just unlimited. Unlimited. You can just stack them up, and there is a bigger, more powerful hardware from NVIDIA. Just depends on the customer's setup.
Cool. So that sounds like a very scalable solution, but also it seems like you've streamlined how people actually deal with their camera feeds now, because you said the platform is independent of the type of camera you use, so you don't have to use all the different proprietary softwares for each camera. In terms of, I mean, obviously this is designed for security applications, but are there any applications that other applications you can see this in? Because I guess the main point of it is you're streamlining camera systems and making it easy to train a system to recognize, in this case, false positives, or I guess is it trained to recognize the false positives, or is it trained to recognize the positives?
The cloud only, the platform itself, what I said in the beginning with the false alarms, that one is the goal of it is to reduce false alarms. So it is detecting human activity. So persons and driving vehicles, basically, which is also human activity. So it's detecting those, but filtering out everything that is not those objects. And the cube, on the other hand, is creating the alarms itself. So whereas in the platform that I have said earlier, there we are basically dependent on what the customer's system is sending us via standard interfaces that we have, but the customer system might send us anything on motion, anything, what it would send normally to the security operating center directly. It is sent to our platform, which then only there in the cloud does the filtering. Whereas the cube is working completely differently because
I see. So
that is
these aren't two.
right next to
These
the
are
camera
This is
system.
evolution. This isn't. They're not connected. This is evolution between two robots.
Yes,
Okay. That's
yes, yeah. They
that's
can be
extremely impressive.
combined. They can be combined. They can
Mm,
be combined, of course. But what the cube does is basically it is in the camera network at the end customer's premises, and it gets access to the live views of the camera feed and does the analytics right in that on the premises, and
okay. Okay.
creates the alarms, right? Based on sophisticated AI functions that run on this NVIDIA Jetson board that is only now with those NVIDIA Jetson boards that are released by NVIDIA just recently possible.
Mm,
And then those created alarms, then they will be sent into our platform again, where the operating center and users and system integrators can work with it how they want. So they can forward those alarms into alarm management systems of their choice of security operating centers, or they can just use the platform itself. There will be a mobile app soon as well, so they will be able to do all of their video management uh, through that cloud platform. But yeah, this is the main difference. The cube is creating the alarms and sending it
mm.
to the platform, whereas the platform by itself, if there is no cube, is of course dependent on what the target system of the customer is sending.
Cool. Okay. So I guess with the advent of the cube, with these new NVIDIA chips, you can do what was previously cloud processing for all the inferencing directly on the device, and obviously
Yeah,
that means the it's a lot more private data wise because you're not having to send it up to the cloud. But I guess you can also,
exactly.
if for whatever reason the internet goes down, you still have that full alarm capability, AI enhanced, in
Yes,
house, as long as there's still electricity.
exactly.
Cool. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's that basically. And yeah, just maybe just a few more information
mhm,
about the cube itself. Um, so the cube basically also works with any kind of camera as long as they have an RTSP stream or are ONVIF capable. So
mhm,
they just basically need to have a stream. Just any camera off the shelf would work with it. So it really um, opens up way more solution possibilities for system integrators because they don't need to buy those super expensive cameras for thousands of euros that maybe have unnecessary features that you might not need,
mm,
right? So they can just go with any type of low cost camera with an enough resolution. Um, and still fulfill the end customers' security requirements. And of course, this cube is very flexible and future proof,
mm.
right? So it is an AI based board designed by NVIDIA. So you can run very sophisticated AI functions on there, meaning even like Gen AI algorithms you can run on
Okay.
it. And we're planning
Cool.
to release that kind of AI features in the next few months. So the cube basically will be able to adapt if the end customer has changing security requirements. So
Mhm,
if they all of a sudden they had up until now, they just wanted to track um, persons or moving cars, right? But all of a sudden, they have another security requirement. They now want to detect people with knives, or they want to
mm,
detect black cars or whatever, right? So any kind of object, new object, that will be possible without having to replace the whole infrastructure or without having to, for, I don't know, buy additional hardware or additional analytics for, super high amounts of money. So this will be, I think, one of our USPs, that the Cube is super versatile, it is future-proof, and it is flexible and can adapt to changing security requirements.
Nice. So if one of our engineers listening was like, yes, this sounds like a really good idea, and they wanted to test it, how do they go about testing one of these cubes? Do you have kits, or is there like trial
Yeah.
versions of the platform? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. They can definitely go on our website, um, PromiseQ.com, or they can write me an email, or Tim. I don't know if you want to, if you're going to publish our contact details with the podcast. You could, if you want. And and then we will see what are the requirements, what is the use case. And usually we do have a 3 months um, pilot project for now, because the cube is still in its beta phase. And once it's not in the beta phase anymore, which will be maybe in a month or so, then we still have a month of testing available. So if anybody wants to see what the fuss is about, and if they want to test it, then we can arrange something. The same goes for the video intelligence platform. You can just sign up to it on the website, and we will be happy to give anyone 4 weeks of free testing. Yeah.
Cool. So I think that was a really good introduction to PromiseQ and what you guys do. In terms of the cube, which I think is probably the big star of the show here, could you like summarize in 3 points what you think the reason a design engineer would want to use one when compared to the technology of today?
Yeah, sure. I think the cube is, it starts out with ease of integration. It is super easy. It's just plug and play. You plug it into your camera network. It detects and finds your cameras and connects to it, connects to our cloud, and it's just, ready to go. And everything else can be managed remotely. So anything, even if you want to draw excluded zones, if you want to configure, for example, armed and unarmed times, you can do it fully remote for all of your sites via the video intelligence platform. And what I said earlier, the absolute future, it's the absolute future-proof security product, in my opinion, because we're, of course, completely building on NVIDIA. And I think there will be so much more possible in the future that can be run on those NVIDIA boards, on the cube, basically. And I think we will be able to, in very short times, to react to new video intelligence requirements and security requirements that I think traditional products as of today, can't do, without having to, collect tons of data and then train a traditional neural network until it's done and then pushed onto whatever systems they're using. This takes months or even longer. Whereas on the cube, you can even today run models that are so sophisticated that need very little training data in order to detect new object classes. So I think, those are the main points.
Nice, cool. So check out PromiseQ's Cube, and I'll do a technical write-up as I usually do. But thank you for watching, everyone. And yeah, if you're looking for Edge AI, video security, PromiseQ has definitely got you covered, and for the future. So thank you very much, Tolga. And yeah, we'll have to catch up when the Cube is out of beta phase and all ready to go.
All right. Thank you very much for the invitation, Eamon. It was a pleasure.
Where my engineers at?